allows us to continue that and meet the demand. And again, I want to echo the President's and the Secretary's ask of the American people: if you've recovered from COVID-19, please donate. It could save a life. And Mr. President, thank you again.
Thank you. Okay, any questions? Underway to track, please.
So it's a really good question, and of course, it all depends on the clinical circumstances and what a doctor and a patient together decide with respect to the administration of any agent. But if you think about what happened with convalescent plasma and the expanded activation,
that the treatment is safe and very effective. Yet Dr. Hahn just said it was showing promising efficacy. So which of the two is correct? Well, I think I'll let Dr. Hahn answer that question.
So
huge differences when at the beginning of the pandemic we were seeing an overwhelmingly high rate of deaths. So this has to be commended. Every patient that comes to see me now in the office, often they're outpatients, they've recovered. When they tell me they have antibodies, I tell them to go immediately and donate plasma. God forbid, if I was sick, I would take this myself.
Can you tell us what happened to the patient you first treated with this plasma? Was it successful?
So, without breaching confidentiality, this patient was gravely ill and within about 24 hours showed a dramatic improvement in the lung injury. Ultimately, that patient was not able to survive the illness, but it certainly bought us time. And that was when we didn't have other therapeutics. Even remdesivir was not available at that time. So now when we add in convalescent plasma with remdesivir, with what we know about high-dose steroids, with what we know about high caloric demand, and electively cooling these patients, with what we know about the modes of ventilation, this just gives us so much more help. Very important is the convalescent plasma has to be given very early on in the illness. And the FDA is also wise in not yet giving an approval. An approval means we have compared it to patients that did not get this and got all the other treatment in the same manner. So with this pandemic being so vast and so fast moving, no patients or doctors would like to be denied convalescent plasma. Remember, the first maxim of medicine is first do no harm. And that is exactly what was just said about convalescent plasma. So everybody wants to receive this and wants to have access for it. For us to sift through the data and give it...
Are now going to be able to use.
Exactly, and immunizations means the implication is one gets a vaccine and then mounts one's own immune response. A transfusion of convalescent plasma, convalescent is someone who has recovered from COVID-19 and donated their antibodies, gives that patient time to fight the infection, an armamentarium, a weaponry of antibodies to fight the virus at the very earliest part of their illnesses, which they naturally would not have time to make. So that is, this is very important and cannot be underestimated. And one thing I'd like to say is with this president, unlike any other, his statements are so unfairly politicized, we take the medicine.
We're going to have to leave it there.
Let's keep the medicine.
The commercial break is dropping.
Video tells it to be straight. If making an extra 3 to 5 grand every year has prevented you from being able to retire, you definitely need to know about the money press. And even if you've been burned and unlucky in the past, let me prove it to you how the money press can be your ace in the hole.
Not millions of Americans, and this emergency use authorization will spearhead that effort. Doc, and you know Americans are going to step forward and be willing to respond. Can of course report from the White House. Seen that. The number of daily confirmed coronavirus cases falling here in the U.S. dipping below 45,000 yesterday, down from nearly 49,000 on Friday. Aisha Husney live in New York City with more on those numbers. Aisha.
Hi, John. Yes, the fight continues against the coronavirus, but again, as Kevin and Griselda's mentioned, we have another tool against that fight. Convalescent plasma. It comes with a 35% mortality reduction. The president says it's effective and safe. Listen.
The FDA, MIT, Harvard, and Mount Sinai Hospital have also found convalescent plasma to be a very effective method of fighting this horrible disease. Based on the science and the data, the FDA...
9,000 deaths with
van. No, they got a new van. Remember at the end?
Georgia Tech fraternity
The
vaccine, Doctor. It is a treatment. What do you think of it?
Well, John, my heart hopes that it's right, but my brain is more cautious than the enthusiasm that we've heard. The data, although it's a large amount of data, is really grade C data. It's not critically done. I wish they had started to use the plasma in a controlled trial with placebos. We don't really know how effective it is. And I want to quote the FDA Commissioner, Stephen Hahn. It's promising efficacy, and the data suggests that level of caution is appropriate. Actually, this emergency use authorization will make it easier for people to actually get plasma. We don't know how well it works still, and it will make it more difficult to recruit patients into the trials that are ongoing that would give it a rigorous evaluation. You know, the FDA has done this before. They did an emergency use authorization for hydroxychloroquine. They were all enthusiastic about it and then had to withdraw it when it was found not to work. I hope that doesn't happen here. As I say, my heart hopes that this will work out, but we're not clear about how well it works, in which patients, and what the dose is. A rigorous trial would tell us that. We don't do things on the basis of, gee, I think it will work. We need rigorous evidence. We do evidence-based medicine. Very interesting, if true, but we'll need better data. As I say, these data are kind of grade C. They're not effective, is it? And how safe it is. And the only way you find that out is by doing these large controlled trials that are now beginning.
There is the concept of herd immunity that prevents the virus from spreading rapidly through a population because so much of the population already has had it. There are some, I've read some statistics that suggest that in places like New York City, or at least in pockets of New York City, you might have 50% of the population that's already been exposed to COVID-19. As a nation, is there any prospect of herd immunity?
Here, as a nation, there is no chance of achieving herd immunity anytime soon. There may be some small, isolated pockets of populations, just as you suggest, John. Yeah, quite effective.
Dr. William Shatner, always good to talk to you.
When it was found not to work. I hope that doesn't happen here. As I say, my heart hopes that this will work out, but we're not clear about how well it works, in which patients, and what the dose is. A rigorous trial would tell us that. Kind of grade C. They're not grade A data, and the United States public deserves grade A data.
Well, what about the progress toward right around entering the Virgin River Gorge? And they chant for a while, then they try to march downtown.
cowboys.
Yeah, cowboys and Indians. Old settlers days, you know, stuff like that. But there's water sources. There's a constant creek. So you know, just follow the water source. You know.
Ooh, wow! I cannot get it on my video. It's so high. I can see it. Oh my god! Oh my! It's so high. It's so beautiful.
Hell yeah! I climbed that bad boy in a heartbeat and rappel.
Oh my god!
I'd probably die, but I'd still like to climb it.
So beautiful. It's so high. You cannot even see it. I can't even see it. Who wants to climb that mountain? Go. Come in here. Climb it. I can't even see the top of that. Top of that mountain.
Another couple of them right there.
Yeah.
Big old.
Oh yeah. See that?
But you know, that's all from water. That's all from water and stuff like that. So you know, it makes you wonder if water was ever that high. You know?
When it's raining, honey.
Oh no, I mean, I guess that's from, you know, water, you know, when water used to run through here, or ice, or whatever, you know, but however that all-
Wait. What the? What if, honey, what if it's snowing in here? Oh my.
Oh yeah, this is fun.
So scared to cross in this road
Oh yeah, you gotta chain up.
when it's snowing.
Yeah, you gotta sling iron.
Have to chain your wheels. It's very beautiful. Mountains over mountains, over mountain.
See, there's always water moving. There's always a constant water source. So it's gotta be from an underground stream, you know? Imagine that water's cold. You know it? Probably tastes good too.